Hello friends, today's video I am presenting in the form of PPT because it's very important to understand or learn under what section you receive a notice under GST. So whenever you receive any notice under GST, we never actually look into, or your accounts department person or the person who is handling law actually doesn't go and check the first thing under what section the notice is issued by the department. We blindly go to the points where all the department has laid down the allegations and try to give the information to the department before understanding under what section the notice is issued. Basically, in GST, most of the time, majority of the times, the notice are issued under section 73 or 74. We will try to understand what is notices, which notices are issued under section 73 and which notices are issued under 74. Recently, we can see many cases where the notices are issued under 74 and assessees actually or taxpayers sometimes agree to the amount what has to be paid and pay the tax. But then the consequences of paying the tax under section 74 is not as easy or as simple. So I'll make you understand that. So the differences we'll discuss in the next slide. Before that, we will discuss what is the similarity between the notices under section 73 and section 74. Now both the sections, the notices are issued if the taxes has not been paid or it has been short paid, or if the refunds has been erroneously given, or the input tax credit has been wrongly availed or utilized. So in these three situations, notices are issued under section 73 and 74. These are the similarities and the situations when the notices are issued under section 73 and 74. Now, what is the major difference between these two sections? Now, notice under section 74 is issued. Please bear in mind, be very careful. 74 section notice is issued for the reason of fraud, willful misstatement, suppression of fact with the intention to evade tax. So please bear in mind, when the notice is issued under 74, the department is alleging, okay, you have done a fraud, you have done willful misstatement, or you have suppressed some facts with the intent to evade tax. So if you are giving any information to the department based on this notice, please keep in mind they are alleging you have done a fraud. Whereas in section 73, it is a non-fraud case, a non-willful misstatement or non-suppression of facts. So when the notice is issued under section 74, and if you pay any tax amount or any interest amount or any penalty, it is assumed you are paying the tax where you have done a fraud, where you have done a suppression of facts with the intent to evade tax. So when you are paying the tax, it is implied you have done all this fraud and all these activities and you are paying tax. So when any notice is issued under 74, the first step you have to do while giving a reply is to, first of all, say that this section 74 notice itself is not correct and you have to deny the allegations. That has to be the first step in the reply, so that in future, whenever it goes for litigation, this point will be noted. Now, why notices are issued under 74 and not 73? First is, of course, department thinks all the taxpayers are fraud, maybe not, but then even you can see section 74 notices are issued when the things are very simple, when the differences or the allegations are very simple and it's clearly a non-fraud case, but then they treat it as a fraud. Now why it is issued basically is because of time limit. Now there is a time limit to issue notice under section 73. There is a time limit to issue notice under section 74. Now the time limit to issue notice under 73, which is non-fraud cases, for 17-18, the time limit to issue notice was 31st December 2023. For 18-19, it was 31st January 2024. And for 19-20, still the time is there. It is 31st May 2024. Now what happened? The department has exhausted the time limit to issue notice for 17-18 and 18-19. Now if they want to issue a notice, they have option only to issue notice under section 74, where the time limit is to pass the order is 5 years from the due date of furnishing the annual return. Now the order has to be passed within 5 years from the due date of furnishing the annual return. Now if you see for 17-18, the due date was extended, kept on extending, and it was 5th. For some states it was 5th of February 2020. For some states it was 7th of February 2020. So order has to be passed for 17-18 5 years from the due date. That is, they have got 5 years, 5th February or 7th February 2025 to pass the order. So as per section 74, notice has to be issued 6 months before the due date of passing the order. So if you see section 74, for 17-18, February 2025 is the date of passing the order. So 6 months prior to February, you should be receiving the notice. Anything after the 6 months, notice is not valid. Similarly, for 18-19, the due date of furnishing the annual return was 31st December 2020. So again, they have got time till 31st December 2025 to issue the order. So 6 months before, that is 30th June, by 30th June they have to issue the notice under section 74. So if you see, the time limit to issue notice under 74 is 5 years, whereas for 73 for 2 years is already exhausted. So that is the reason department is issuing notice under 74. So the first and foremost, check under what section the notice is issued and deny the allegations under 74 straight away, because if the allegations under 74 itself is not valid, then the whole notice fails and there is no requirement for you to give the details what they are asking for, because the notice itself is null and void. So please bear in mind, keep this in mind and check under what section the notice is issued. Thank you.